down, oh sit down, oh sit down, sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down in sympathy. Hi guys, this is how to play Sit Down by James with just 3 chords, G, A and D. For this song, to be able to play it along to the record, we're going to need your capo at the 2nd fret. It will sound absolutely fine on its own if you want to sing along to it without a capo. For example, that would sound like, oh sit down next to me. But that will be slightly too low for the record, so grab your capo if you've got one and move it to the 2nd fret, and your D chord will sound like this. In this song we've just got 1 chord sequence repeated for the whole song, so this is perfect if you're super new at these chords. We've got 2 bars of D major, 1 of G and then 1 of A. So this has got all 3 chords at with this section of songs. And we've got your D once, then again, then a G and an A. All major chords. One more time from the D, playing 1 strum per bar on beat 1. In, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, D again, then a G, finally A, and repeat. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, then a G, G, then an A. Keep that rhythm going, keep that pattern going. 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1, 2, 3, 4, G, and then an A, D, 2, 3, 4, D, and a G, and an A. From the top. I sing myself to sleep, a song from the darkest hour. From the top, a D, 2, 3, 4, D, and a G, then an A. Okay? The next step from this, and we'll slow it down a little more than that, is we want to play every beat. Just down strums, 1, 2, 3, 4, for each of the chords that we've just done in that order. For example, D, 2, 3, 4, D, and then your G, and an A. Now this is where the changes that I went through in the introduction to this part video, between the D and the G specifically is going to come in real handy, though the G to A can also prove a little tricky, but because we've done the A chord before in the previous section of songs, we should be okay with that change. You should be able to have the muscle memory to be able to do it. But D to G, really recommending the kind of what I call a Noel Gallagher G, with your 3rd and little finger down on the thinnest 2 strings here. First 2 notes are exactly the same as any other G, first 2 fingers, same as any other G you think you'll come across. 3rd finger and little finger on the thinnest 2 strings, at what we're calling 3rd fret proportionate to that count. So for every beat, that chord change should allow you to do it. If it's a little tricky, just head back to that first video, have another run through it. The chord sequence from the top, strumming on every beat, in. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, D again. And then a G to an A. 2 from the top. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Head into a G, then an A. From the top, a D, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, A. From the top, I sing myself to sleep, a song from the darkest, from the top, secrets I can keep inside of the day. From the top, sit down, oh sit down, oh sit down, sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 G, and then an A, end on D. Great stuff. For the time being, I really recommend that you try and play along to that with having a sing along to yourself or playing it along to the record before you try any other strumming pattern that I'm going to show you next. Get those changes solid, get them to a rhythm, make sure everything's nice and even, and if it's sounding good, then you know you're on the right track. If that's something that you're really comfortable with, we can try adding something called strumming with swing. So what is this strumming with swing so far? Okay, so far in this beginner's course, we've covered all downs, counting to splitting a bar into eighth, which I call eighth strumming. So that's down, 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 down to a count of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We've also covered down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, which basically sounds the same, but is more economical to be able to strum faster. What this is this is pretty much to a completely different grid, but it only applies to strumming when you're doing eighth strumming. So if you're playing on the beats, everything sounds right when you play it on the beat. That's why I really encourage, for every song that you learn, you start off just strum on the beat so that you can count, you know how long you're playing each chord for. From here, we're going to be playing downs and ups, but we're going to be delaying the upstroke. We're going to be moving it a little later. This makes the song sound like there's a bounce to it. Every other strumming pattern we've done so far has basically been to what I like to think of as a grid of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if we listen to that back, everything's really even. Everything's completely evenly split. Whereas for this one, it's going to sound like there's a bounce happening. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. It's a rhythm that you may be really used to hearing in kind of old blues songs and things like that. You hold and 3 and 4. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Maybe for that sort of style of music, okay? For this, it's actually really common for your acoustic guitar singer-songwriter, Noel Gallagher, Neil Young kind of songs. They use this an awful lot. It's really common. But to get a handle on it, we're just going to start off doing it on James Sit Down. So this is the proper strumming pattern for the song. And we're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So here we're going to really be doing the one thing that I've told you not to do so far, which is stop your hand moving. So we're going to go down and briefly pause at the bottom. And then when you come up, you go straight back down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if you've heard the song, that rhythm, ba-bum, 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 should be pretty evident to you. If it's not, it's okay, you can just play to me, but if it is evident to you, then you're way ahead of the game here. You know exactly what's going on and you know where to do it. One question can be, when do I actually do that? So if I'm pausing down at the bottom, when do I come back up? Well, just try and make it sound like that rhythm. If it's really tricky for you to do, you can do the whole thing on downstrokes if you would like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, if it sounds correct, then that's totally fine for now. But you're not going to be developing your guitar strumming skills as much as if you did down, up, and kind of force yourself to try and play it right. Sometimes, when we're playing down, up, down, and it's maybe there's something a little bit wrong. You can't quite put your finger on it, but something's a little bit wrong. It can be that you just edge into the side of it sounding what we call straight. So there's straight and swing, and when it's straight, everything's even. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and when it's swung, it's a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. because the offbeat, the and, has been moved a little further back. If it kind of hangs somewhere between the two, so maybe for example, and it's not quite swung, but it's not quite straight, then that can start to sound quite odd, but you maybe won't realise it till you listen to it back. So if you can record yourself on a phone or sound recorder on your laptop or anything like that, and listen to it back, it should sound like that. And if it's sounding a little more kind of still straight, then it's something that you've not yet got yet. And I certainly wouldn't try it to the record, but certainly have a go at it, just staying on a D chord. And if you could play along to me now, we're going to go down, up, down, just on the D chord. 2, 3, 4. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And stop on the D. If you could play along to that and it sounds right, you've got it. Let's have a go on the G chord now. Just try it on your G chord. Couple of bars, downs and ups with the swing. 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then finally your A major chord. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. It's got the real kind of swing of it. And when this is something that you can do, sometimes when you go back to doing the straight ones, they sound a little dull because they're all really rigid. So this can be a lot of fun to learn, and it is the correct level of if you're going for these chords, this is the time to start getting this swing strumming in where it's appropriate. When you can hear 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in the song. Down, up, down, up, down. So let's, nice and slow, let's go through all the chords in this song, which just repeat for the whole song, and let's give it a go with swing strumming. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So D and 2 and 3 and D again. Then your G, G, 2, 3, and an A, 2, 3, 4, a D, 2, 3, a 1, 2, and a G, G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. One more time, a D, D, and a G, and an A. End on the D there. Perfect, okay. If that's something that you're cool at doing, let's just go for that a little bit faster. And also, with these upstrokes, you don't actually have to play every one. It can sound a lot more natural to miss some out. Now, this is something that a lot of beginners are really uncomfortable doing, and they want to be told exactly what to do. And if you're that kind of person, then do every one. It's totally fine. Do every one, and it will always sound right. If you feel like you could miss some out, but keep your strumming hand going, so just for example, that was basically missing some of those strums out at random. I'd certainly try and get the first one of the bar in, the first couple of beats, but towards the end of the bar, if you can just be a little bit looser with where you strum them, can sound an awful lot more natural. Let's have a go at trying to do that. We're going to do the same exercise as before, but a little bit faster. I'll sing along and just see if that's something that you're able to do. If not, downs and ups every time is totally fine. It will sound good. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and D again. Then you G, G and an A. 3, 4, missing out some ups, G and an A. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down, sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down in sympathy. Perfect. End it there, and that's how to play Sit Down by James. Try it along to the record, have a sing along, great song. Please subscribe and check out my other videos, certainly in this series. Now you've got all the 3 chords done, and I'm sure I'll see you again.